BDIV and the boys, we are back. It is me, of course, the head honcho. Man, I don't look a bit goofy here, boys. Not gonna lie. And gals, sorry for assuming. But welcome to BDIV and the boys, the talk show where we cover all the sports here. Okay, listen, we're gonna be covering football today. We're gonna be covering college basketball to start. And we got some other stuff going on here. So we're gonna be covering all kinds of stuff today. What I'm wearing, of course, we always got to get into that. I think I forgot to do it the last time, but I am wearing the Plum Mustangs football beanie, 2012 edition. My heart sunglasses, as always. This brand new American Eagle T-shirt, which I'm really vibing with, and I haven't stained yet, which is exciting for that. And of course, my ninth grade homecoming suit. Before we start, a few things. Number one, bdivatb@gmail.com. If you have any questions or want to help out on the show, we're severely understaffed, as I've said before. So please shoot me an email, DM us on Instagram, BDIV_ATB. Man, I really am not vibing with this combo right now. Let me fix this up while I'm talking. But I will be taking phone calls later. There we go. I will be taking phone calls later on in the show. That's 412-759-2191. And if you cannot wait and, give us a call. Please give us a call. Let me set on a text real fast to somebody real fast. Okay, we're all good. So, Caden, you know what? There's nobody else here right now, so I'm just going to bring you right off, Rip. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
Hey, man, nothing much. So, listen, guys, for those of you who are watching, a few apologies. Number one, our Twitch account suspended. Not banned, suspended. I couldn't tell you why. It was a violation of their guidelines. I don't know what we did wrong. I haven't played any illegal music on here, non-copyright, anything like that. So I don't really know. I'm going to look in a little bit to that. And number two, because of that, StreamYard actually demoted my my membership. They gave me a free trial off rip, as I mentioned, probably back in the first show. They were kind enough to give me a membership for free, and now we're back to the plain old StreamYard. As you can see, we don't have this nice Pittsburgh logo in the back. We have to promote them in the top right of your screen. Not even no background. My quality got lower, but the show must go on. The show must go on. But Caden, the first thing I want to talk about today is the national championship game, which was Baylor over Gonzaga, and that was big because everybody, the whole tournament. Oh, even myself, which, by the way, shout out to Alex Matolo. He actually did win the entire $100 March Madness bracket for BDIV and the boys. So, Alex, you're probably not watching. I texted you, but I'll have your 100 probably when we hang out this weekend. But let's talk about that a little bit. So, the Bears defeated Gonzaga 86-70. Jared Butler dropped 22 points. Dude, even college basketball has some weird names, like the NHL. Macha, I'm just gonna say Teague. Mr. Teague here dropped 19. They started off really hot. I'm pretty sure in the first 45 seconds of the game they were up 9-0, and then I checked it was 11-1 at one point at the beginning. So yeah, they really just took off, and Baylor had the momentum through the entire game. Davion Mitchell added 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Mark Vitale had 6 points and 11 boards. Adam Flagger also dropped. It could be Flagger. I don't know. 13 points from him as well. For Gonzaga, Jalen Suggs had 22 points, which, did you know Jalen Suggs was a stud of a quarterback? This dude was crazy.
I did see this. I think it was on SportsCenter or
CBS
or one of those.
He had something I think he had offers from Oklahoma and Ohio State for quarterback, which, so clearly, I mean, Jalen Suggs is just an athlete. Potential first pick of the draft. It's probably going to be what's his name from
Cade
Oklahoma?
Cunningham.
Yeah, Cade Cunningham, who is also a stud. He's young too. Cade Cunningham is young, but no, they're both really good players. That was Baylor's first national championship. But the main takeaway is what Gonzaga didn't do. Not only did they not win the whole thing, but they would have been the first team since 1976, I believe, to go undefeated and win the national championship, which would have been huge. I mean, Caden, am I wrong about that? Like that would have been huge for
It's like
college basketball.
crazy to think that they could have went 33-0, win the whole thing. But I mean, I feel like a team that could lose early on, like Baylor did. They obviously had like COVID issues, or else I think they were debatably a team that could have went undefeated and
Yeah.
would be more of a favorite, I'd say, to win the whole thing. So I don't. I mean, you can't really predict how things go in the regular season. When it comes time for playoffs and March Madness, you got to play your best basketball. And Gonzaga got shown up by Baylor. Baylor did a great job. They came out early. They came out striking, and Gonzaga couldn't keep up. And you can see it against UCLA too. Gonzaga really lost their step against them, and Baylor showed their weaknesses and beat them really badly. Oh no, Bill, did you freeze?
Okay.
Oh no, Bill.
So
Oh boy.
oh boy. Oh boy. Oh
I
boy.
can
Oh
hear
boy.
you at least now, but I can't. Oh wait, you good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can see
Okay.
you now. You're good.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I don't know what's I've been having issues with my internet for a little bit now. I apologize, folks. Try to take a pee break. It actually wasn't my internet. My pee break was a bit long. But no, as I mentioned, Baylor came into the tournament again, had COVID issues. You can't really predict, like, obviously you could predict how good a team may do in the March Madness based off a regular season. But again, they had some COVID issues, and as far as their game plan goes, Baylor was a very they were a balanced team throughout the season. Very high rankings in defense and offense. But what we really saw, I think more so we saw more defense out of Baylor than offense. You think about it, Gonzaga is the most efficient team in all of college basketball. They shot almost 60% from field goal, which is absolutely insane. The fact that you're even over 50 is crazy, and pushing 60 is absolutely nuts. Um, but no, it was pretty much Baylor's rebounding and defense just absolutely carried them in that game with a great offensive tack as well. Um, but yeah, that's really all I have about that. Again, it wasn't a great game. I'm gonna be honest. I would have liked the ending that we saw in the UCLA Gonzaga
Yeah,
game
that would have been
as
amazing.
as the ending, but no, I mean it it was surprising to say the least. I knew it was gonna be a good game, Caden, but I didn't expect Baylor to come out like that and just
I don't
just
think
hand that
anybody
whooping
did.
to them.
It's
Yeah,
surprising that they came out with a 11-point lead,
yeah.
but game just kept rolling with it. You'd think like Gonzaga being the team there, would be like, oh, we gotta fix our game up a little bit, and then come back, make it close. But they were really out of reach the whole game.
Yeah, and that was the story of the whole game. It was like, if Gonzaga made a shot, Baylor was right back with another one. So shout out to Baylor. Congrats to the Bears. They do deserve it, especially after battling all those COVID issues. But let's shift real quick into the NFL, and we're gonna start with the NFL, and we're probably gonna end with the NFL as well. Deshaun Watson has obviously been going through some trouble. We've been talking about the Watson Gate for a while now, and that's what I like to call it, which is a dumb name. But we started with like 3 cases, then 5 cases, and then it went from 5 all the way up to 17. Now we're at 22 cases, which is absolutely insane. So he's really in trouble. But with all that going on, a few companies just said, you know what, we can't do this anymore. Nike was one of them. They had suspended its multi-year deal with the Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson amid allegations by multiple women. When I say multiple, again, 22 women have come out. Nike hasn't completely cut ties with Deshaun Watson. I should have reworded that title, but there are some other companies as well that have done so. Another one, big one being Beats by Dre. Beats also is suspending Deshaun Watson pretty much until they find out like what the hell's going on here. So, and that's the summary of all this. What is going on here? So let me give you a little bit of detail. We've gone into it before, but again, this the fine details, and Caden knows the fine details of this whole story are a bit disturbing. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. But all 22 women work in the health and wellness industry. Um, Basically, the words that ESPN chose here, the women said that he exposed himself a bit too much during massage sessions. Okay, that's about as far as I'm gonna go because again, we are a kid friendly channel here. You know, nothing. We don't like to be inappropriate at all. Anything like that. 412-759-2191 is the number to call. I figured I'd throw that out on there. But there have been some rumors going around proving that Deshaun Watson hasn't done anything wrong at all. There was some rumors circulating, some fake screenshots, if you will, of they could be real, but some screenshots of some text messages, and if you look on Deshaun Watson's Twitter, all of his tweets are from an Android, and these texts were from Apple. And so people are saying, well, that's not Deshaun Watson. That's fake. But honestly, this is all crazy for me. But Caden, the question I have for you is this: how much do you think this is going to play a role in Deshaun Watson's career in general?
It's huge as of right now until this all gets sorted out because he wants out of Houston, and our team's really going to trade for a quarterback now that has 22 allegations against him.
22.
I don't know. Like, he's a great player. He really is. And if he has endorsements by Nike and Beats, I mean, you can tell that he, is well represented and he's going to be a good player on the football field. But if you see the off the field character issues, stuff like this, obviously you don't want that in your locker room. So when this is possibly resolved, hopefully in a good way here for Deshaun, if not, I hope justice is served, that his market will go back to where it was and he can move on from this Houston life and continue his NFL career elsewhere.
Yeah, because that's the big thing right now. It's just the fact that this is the worst absolute timing for Deshaun Watson. The dude wants out of Houston, which is not a problem, and I agree. He probably should have left because right now Houston is a hellhole in itself, and I don't think any quarterback should deserve to be part of that organization. Although the overhaul of the front office is big, but it was terrible timing because, like you just mentioned, his market right now is clearly not good. Or else right now, I think he'd probably be on an NFL team at the moment. But yeah, so that's just how I look at it. His market's not that great right now. He's 22 allegations, Caden. Like that's unreal, and that's the question. It's unreal. That's the way I say it because 22 seems like a lot. I don't know. I don't want to really get shut up. I don't want to really
get a very high number.
Yeah, that's a very high number. That's like Wilt Chamberlain numbers. Again, if you know that whole deal, I'm not. I'm kidding. Obviously, Wilt Chamberlain was. Oh boy. But yeah. So Nike said in the statement that we are deeply concerned by the disturbing allegations and have suspended Deshaun Watson. They said that on Wednesday, and then they also said we will continue to closely monitor the situation. So again, this seems like it's not going to go past civil court. I don't think the police actually have taken Deshaun into custody, but I don't really see the actual like him actually going to jail. I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is mostly just for gain as far as money goes and stuff like that. So I don't see this going past civil court. And obviously, I'm rooting for Deshaun Watson. I mean, if he did something wrong, I'm not rooting for him. If 22 cases, if there are 22 women and they all say, hey, we got touched by Deshaun Watson in ways we shouldn't have, and all 22 of them can prove that he actually did it, I'm not with Deshaun on this. But right now, 22 seems like a little bit of a high number, so it's hard for me to believe that Deshaun did something to 22 women. And honestly, I don't know. I don't know. It's all weird to me. But again, hopefully Deshaun can make it out of this, turn it an NFL organization around as he's trying to do. Again, this is not good for not only Deshaun. This isn't good for Houston. This gives them a bad look. They're definitely going to want to get rid of him now if this all comes true. But then the problem becomes, well, who's going to want Deshaun Watson? I don't think Deshaun Watson's a bad guy, but again, we've seen instances with people like Aaron Hernandez who were quiet, and then we saw he killed people. So I mean, yeah, I'm not comparing Aaron Hernandez to Deshaun Watson. No way, because these are two completely different stories in a sense. But yeah, I think that's basically all we really have for the Deshaun Watson case. So I've been covering it. I know Caden's been looking at it every once in a while. So we'll keep updating it on the show. Our next show is Saturday, 8 p.m., by the way. So make sure you stop by for that. 412-759-2191 is the number to call. Yeah, so Colton, I'm going to agree with you here, bud. I think teams are definitely still going to want to sign Deshaun Watson. But now the question, Caden, this is a great break-off question. Who's gonna sign Deshaun Watson? What teams right now are looking at Deshaun Watson and going, hey, we could maybe add him to our squad and he could be a major benefit?
As of right now, there's not a considerable clear-cut favorite, I would say. I think maybe a team like Detroit, depending how the Goff situation goes up there. Maybe Philadelphia, if they don't like what they see in Jalen Hurts. And even a team like Pittsburgh. I mean, you don't have a great backup for Ben. I'm not saying, like, go out and do it right now, but, like, mid-season maybe, if team's not going the direction you want it to. If the price is cheap, I mean, go ahead and do it.
Yeah, and you actually sent me a screenshot of a mock draft where Pittsburgh actually trades up and takes Trey Lance. So I think, yeah, the Steelers are a team that definitely is in the market for a quarterback, as much as it may not seem. I could actually the number one spot I see is a team that's been looking for quarterbacks for a while now. I could see Chicago being a landing spot for
Chicago.
Chicago. Even the Washington football team. I know I feel bad because I feel like Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to be in the same spot as he was last year. Colton, I agree. I was just about to say that Chicago, I'm pretty sure with the whole Russell Wilson thing, I think they offered the most for him, and Seattle still said no. So
Chicago, they offered 3 firsts. I think an MVP caliber player, maybe it was Khalil Mack, and then 2 other starters, I think.
Yeah,
that's a lot. And
you have to you have to imagine that there might even be more, because you think about it. Russell Wilson is when excuse me. If I'm an NFL GM, I'm an owner, I'm a head coach. The main thing I'm really looking at is the value. So I'm looking at age and I'm looking at how good this dude is. Deshaun Watson is the perfect combination, I'd say, right now. He's young and he's good. He's a perfect embodiment of what a team really needs as a quarterback. He's mobile, he has a great arm, and he seems like a good guy. I don't know. Yeah. According to 22 women, he's not. But so we'll see where he lands up. I'm hoping that this whole allegation thing just flies out the window, which it won't. It'll stick with him, just whether he does anything right or whether he did nothing wrong or whether he actually did something wrong. He won't be more of a hero than he was before, and also I want him out. I also hope he leaves Houston. I actually would love to just watch Houston burn to the ground, which I think they are going to. They don't have any first round picks this year, which if they trade Deshaun Watson, they probably will have at least one. So yeah, and we'll see where Deshaun Watson goes. But we're going to move on into our next story, which is, speaking of, women involved, ESPN fired Paul Pierce. Paul Pierce is gone from ESPN after a live stream on Instagram. It showed him drinking, it showed him smoking, and a bunch of strippers. So obviously ESPN's image, and none of them were wearing masks. None of them were wearing masks. So obviously this image was, ESPN just said, we're not messing with that. We don't like that image, and we don't want that image to be portrayed on any of our shows. And Paul Pierce was on a few of them. So they just said we can't do this anymore. And yeah, but let's look into that a little bit more. Again, like I said, the video show ESPN wrote this article themselves actually, which is kind of funny. The video showed a seemingly glassy-eyed Pierce smoking and drinking in a full room of exotic dancers. None of them were masked and failed to enact social distancing. So, the funny thing is, Caden, is that this was all for 253 viewers on the live stream. That's it. Only 250 people were watching,
Not
and
worth it.
it not worth
Definitely
it.
not worth it.
Not worth it is an understatement. I mean, who's dumb enough to do that? And especially when you're somebody like Paul Pierce, who has a good embodiment, and places like Boston, people look up to Paul Pierce. Takes a dump in the locker room, pretends like he broke his leg, and comes out and wins a game, a very big game for that matter. So, I don't really understand what Paul Pierce was thinking here. Yeah, so, and shortly after the firing, he took to Twitter and wasn't mad at ESPN, but he wrote, it was actually a video of him laughing. It was just a video of him laughing. That's all it was on Twitter. And he wrote in the caption, "Big things coming soon. Stay tuned. And make sure you smile," with the hashtag "Truth shall set you free." So I don't really know what's going on there. Maybe he was still drunk from all the whatever was going on in the Instagram live, which again was not a good look for him, not at all, not at all. And I totally agree with ESPN. Kate, I'm sure you can too.
Yeah, 100%.
That's not a good move by them.
I did see though after ESPN did announce they fired him, guys like David Portnoy were going on Twitter saying, "Hey, Paul Pierce, come on over to Barstool."
Oh my! I didn't even think of that. Yeah, with like the whole El Prez, man, he's not afraid to really say what's on his mind.
Mm-mm.
After the whole
The Roger Goodell thing was hilarious. He
uh,
yelled at everybody just so he could have a meeting with Roger Goodell in his
yeah,
concert.
it was what was it? There was a bidding, or it was like something for a fundraiser. It
Yeah,
was like I think it was for the Super Bowl. It was a watch party with Roger
it was
Goodell.
during the draft that
Oh,
the bidding took place over
yeah,
the 3 days, and then the winner got to go to Roger Goodell's house, hang out with him in his basement, and watch, I think, a Sunday night football game or a
yeah,
playoff game or something like that.
and and Portnoy ended up winning the whole thing, and Roger Goodell wasn't with that. So,
The bid was at like $2 million or something
yeah,
too.
he paid a lot of money just to get completely shut down.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he does. He's not a Portnoy's El Prez. He's not really afraid to say what's on his mind. The whole which Portnoy has a history with Rappaport. That whole thing with Kevin Durant, which we talked about in the last stream, and Prez was just all in on Kevin Durant, just firing back on this guy, no matter what he said. So really, it's just for public interest. And honestly, I would not be surprised if I see Paul Pierce ending up on Barstool, because that's just the way Barstool works, and that's how they just really work there. And
Mm-hmm.
you see it. They even got what's his face, Deion Sanders as well on their cast. So again, Barstool, big company. And Colton, to answer your question, and Caden, I'll ask you: Is Chicago a quarterback away? I think their defense is already there. Well, they did get rid of Kyle Fuller, so that's
Yeah,
definitely
that's
hurt
it.
them a bit. I don't think they're a quarterback. It really depends. I think with Deshaun Watson, I think that there's a better chance with Deshaun Watson than Russell Wilson. I think that's with most teams. I am a huge Seahawks fan. If I wasn't a Steelers fan, I'm a Seahawks fan. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I've been a fan since the Legion of Boom, and I've always been a big Russell Wilson fan. But right now, I even thought it last year that Deshaun Watson could have been the best quarterback in the NFL if given the threats and all that. So, Caden, I'll ask you how good do you think Chicago would do with one of those two guys? Like, are we seeing a playoff run maybe?
I at least see a playoff run, probably 10-7, 11-6 area. And
Yeah.
you're also in division with Aaron Rodgers, so you have a tough competition there. But they'd have threats. They got Allen Robinson. If their running backs stay healthy, guys like Tariq Cohen, David Montgomery, they got the run game handled. You still got Khalil Mack and Roquan Smith on the D line, Akeem Hicks. So I think they're a very good team if they had a guy like Deshaun Watson, obviously because you have Deshaun Watson. But maybe a few more threats on the outside and maybe some more protection. I think they could actually make a run.
And that's the big thing is protection. Listen, I think Chicago has the most underrated receiving core in the entire NFL. I don't know. I'm a big film guy, so I watch the plays that people don't want to watch, the low lights, if you will. And a bunch of low lights were beautiful routes by some of these Chicago guys. I think Darnell Mooney, who nobody talks about, he's a top 5 route runner in the NFL. I'm going to be honest with you. And if you just watch all the replays of his nasty routes, they're just overthrow after overthrow after overthrow. And honestly, I don't know. As far as their offense goes, they are 100% a quarterback away. They haven't had a good quarterback representing them in a very long time. Allen Robinson's obviously back, a well-rounded receiver, not the fastest guy. And then you also have Anthony Miller, who is reportedly very high on the trade market right now, and there's a lot of teams calling Chicago about Anthony Miller, who is probably like there are 2 or 3 on their team. So, yeah, there's potential with him as well.
With Andy Dalton, though, the quarterback, I think he's a good placeholder if you're trying to go get somebody.
Yes.
So I think he's going to win you games. Obviously, Dallas Fit was not the greatest. He didn't really have much around him. But everyone kind of, I think, underrates Andy Dalton. I think his time in Cincinnati, he was just a decent quarterback with guys like A.J. Green and Tyler Boyd around him. I think with the right people around him, I think he can be a legit quarterback. So, like, I wouldn't underestimate Andy Dalton by any means.
No, neither would I. The Red Rifle definitely has an arm, and I think that there's no question about that. But yeah, great question, Colton. And to finally answer your question, no, but right there. But right there, I think that they're right there. And that's how I would word it. So we just got done talking about Paul Pierce and his whole situation. I believe there's an exotic dancing company that offered him $250,000. The same company that offered James Harden and Kevin Durant the same deal as well, to host a stripper show basically on their Instagram for $250,000. And maybe that's what Paul Pierce is referring to, but I don't know. Hopefully not. 412-759-2191 is the number to call. We're here. We're live on YouTube. Definitely not Twitch. I'm very upset about that. Twitch, screw you guys. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. Screw you guys. I don't know what I did wrong. I didn't even get a reason why. I got an email saying my account was suspended and it was a violation of their guidelines. Didn't really tell me why. But you know what? I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad about it. Twitch wasn't really bringing in many of our views anyway. Only the old fartbag. The old fartbags don't even know what Twitch is. So most people just really. Thanks, Jacksonville. Chicken is delicious. That's fact.
I agree.
But let's move on to again another NFL story. We were just talking about how the answer for Chicago is a quarterback. Now Carolina tries to answer their question at quarterback with Sam Darnold, who they traded 2022 second round, a 2021 sixth round pick, and I believe it was a 2022 fourth round pick as well for Sam Darnold. And really, the main thing I want to go over with this trade is the winners and losers of each trade. So, Caden, I'm gonna give you the winners and losers according to NFL.com, which I don't even know how they bias like their own league on their own website, but I'm not gonna question it. So their number one winner was Sam Darnold. Do you agree with that in Carolina?
I 100% agree with that. Sam Darnold got out of New York. I think the way he was treated up there with bad coaching and not really talent around him, they kind of just threw him into the fire. This is a new start. He goes to a team with a good coach, a good offensive coordinator. Respect to Joe Brady and Matt Rule. He has some weapons. You got Robbie Anderson. You got Christian McCaffrey. I think it's a great fit and it's a great fresh start for Sam Darnold. So he's 100% a winner in this.
And you have to take into account, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. Carolina still has a pretty early draft pick at 8 in the draft, so now they don't have to worry about quarterback and
another weapon for him.
And that's another weapon. Whether it's Kyle Pitts, who I don't think will drop that far. I think he's the best. I think he's the best player in the draft personally. But maybe he will. You have players like Jamar Chase, and you even have a possibility of even getting a lineman like Penei Sewell at 8 as well. So I think Carolina is just offense in the first round at pick 8. And so no matter who they take is just going to be an addition to help out Sam Darnold. And I definitely agree. I think with Adam Gase at New York, that was just a terrible idea. He's a quarterback killer. And
Yes.
I think Sam Darnold will definitely turn out okay, just like Ryan Tannehill did in which was a totally different situation. Ryan Tannehill went into Tennessee with some pretty good threats, which we're kind of actually seeing here. With it's very similar if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going in with a top 5 running back to the left, right behind you, a decent offensive line that still needs help, but can get it through the draft, even in the second round as well. And you have some decent receivers. Robbie Anderson played really well last year, despite everything again, another player from New York. So,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I think Sam Darnold is the winner out of this whole entire trade. But also the NFL thinks, oh, wrong link. The second winner, just in general, is the Panthers. So you think about it, the Panthers really didn't give up much considering what the Jets gave up for Sam Darnold. A first round pick, an early first round pick for that matter. A second round pick next year, that the class is not looking that deep. So I don't think that's that much. A fourth, again, not that crazy. And a sixth for this year. So really, they gave away Sam Darnold for a sixth round pick. So I'm going to be honest. I think Carolina is the winner in this trade, but also the Jets. Excuse me, my voice just bugged out there. But Caden, how much of a winner do you think the Jets are here in this trade? How much do you think that they've really got their value for Sam Darnold?
Not at all. But I think it was more of a new regime. Let's move on. We're gonna get Zach Wilson at 2. We're gonna get Joe Douglas's guy. We're gonna get Bob Sala's guy, and they're gonna build the team they want to build it around. And if they think Zach Wilson's the guy, I mean, you get rid of Sam Darnold to get at least something for him. So I think they did a good job with that. And a second's not too bad. I mean, rather have a first. He's a first round pick, but getting 3 picks for a guy that you really didn't want there, and you kind of want to build your team around somebody else. I mean, that's an okay job by the Jets, but they're the Jets. So I don't know what's gonna happen with Zach Wilson.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, I do like though is that the Jets are realize like most teams that have young quarterbacks or quarterbacks for that matter that need some help. Hey, we got to get our guys some help. They went out and got Corey Davis in the offseason. That's a big one in my opinion. I think Corey Davis is a very underrated receiver. They're going to take Zach Wilson at 2, and then they also have a later pick in the first round as well. So expect to see some depth here from New York and also some other things going on as well. Um, uh, is this Ryan? Yeah, Ryan Pisani thinks that
Manny,
Zach Wilson is overrated. Wow.
he's just a
Um,
Justin Fields fan. That's why.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
not
gonna be.
disrespecting Justin Fields. It's the Jets' preference who they want. They
Yeah,
want Zach Wilson. That's on them.
and that's the same thing with San Francisco at 3. It's like, well, a lot of people don't think Mac Jones should go at 3, but that's not the point. The point is that Kyle Shanahan likes Mac Jones and he likes
Exactly.
his play style. So it's not the fact that Justin Fields is not a third pick talent. It's or second pick talent for that matter. It's the fact. It's the fact on what the team likes. And honestly, I'm going to speak for you, Ryan. I think the only reason you think Zach Wilson is overrated is because he played for BYU and not an Ohio State or a Clemson.
Yeah.
Um, and but I will say this: not last year, but the year before, Zach Wilson did not have a great year on paper. But his last year at BYU, he did play phenomenal. His pro day looked sharp, clean. Rollouts were absolutely amazing. But no, I think you're thinking he's a bit overrated only because he played for BYU, and BYU again doesn't have the competition that Ohio State, Clemson has. So I don't think he's overrated. However, I think there are you could argue that Justin Fields should be the second pick in the draft. And wow, we have a surprise. Matt Fraz has joined us very late in the stream.
Yeah.
Frazzy,
Sorry.
how was baseball, Fraz?
It was good. I got a lot of work in. Played North Allegheny on Friday, so big game for us.
Big game indeed. Now, Fraz, I want to ask you. Thank you for moving your mic a bit closer. I was just about to remind you. Fraz, I want to ask you a question. So we were just talking about it not too long ago, but so Carolina got Sam Darnold. The Jets got a second round pick for next year, a fourth for next year, and the sixth for next year. Who do you think the winner is for this trade?
Uh, Sam Darnold's definitely an outstanding quarterback, and I'm glad he's going to Carolina to get a little bit better coaching. I think they recently got a new quarterbacks coach at Carolina, and I heard he's
Mm.
pretty good. And I think this is a good trade for Carolina. And personally, I wanted Sam Darnold out of the Jets organization because I really think he's just an outstanding quarterback. He has a lot of potential. Not a like more of on the bigger side of quarterbacks, but he could stay in the pocket. He's got a great ball. So I think the Carolina Panthers definitely won this trade.
Yeah, no, a lot of people outside of, Carolina, outside of New York, obviously New York saw some potential in Sam Darnold, or else they wouldn't have asked for a second round pick. But a lot of people who watch film, study the game real close, have said that Sam Darnold hasn't been your ideal quarterback. He turns over the ball a lot. His decision making is not great. However, he can throw. He has a good arm, and all that turnover BS can be fixed very easily. So I think that Sam Darnold definitely, not only was Sam Darnold the winner for the Carolina trade, I think Carolina also was. But here are the losers, according to NFL, the losers for the trade. Um, the winner, or excuse me, the number one loser, believe it or not, is Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater currently is still on Carolina's roster. He's expected to get moved somewhere, but in the statement made by Carolina's GM, he actually said that this is going to bring competition at the quarterback position. So maybe a move. We won't see a move for Teddy Bridgewater this year. Sam Darnold's going to be the starter. There's no question about that. But the Teddy might be there to put on some pressure for Sam Darnold. So, Caden, my question to you is this: do you think this is a good move by Carolina to keep both Bridgewater and Darnold?
I think it is because I think you want to see like what Miami did last year with Tua and Fitzpatrick. You play the hot hand. If say Darnold's having an off night and Teddy comes in, you have two starting quarterbacks that you can plug in and do whatever you want with. So if one quarterback's having the off game, you plug the other in and kind of roll with it. Maybe Darnold has to learn the offense. So you have Teddy there to kind of one teach him and two kind of hold the place until you think Darnold's ready. So I think
Yeah,
having two number one quarterbacks is not a bad thing at all.
no, not at all. But you have to think that this is a little bit of a different situation than it was in Miami. Tua was obviously a young quarterback, first year in the league. Ryan Fitzpatrick's played for 22 different NFL teams, so you see a big difference in age. But Teddy, it's not like Teddy's that young either.
No.
He's played for Minnesota. He's now in Carolina. And I don't think by any means Teddy Bridgewater's butt. I think Teddy Bridgewater's a good quarterback. And I think that concussion thing that when he was sliding and all the injuries that I'm pretty did he not like tear his ACL or something too? I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure he's been
he
through some
messed it up
injuries here
pretty
and
good.
there. Yeah, so I don't know. It depends on what people. Obviously, teams were calling about Teddy Bridgewater, probably Chicago for that matter. But the real question, I think, the whole thing, Carolina's thought process is what can we get for Teddy Bridgewater? I don't think they want anything less than a second round pick because again, this is another young quarterback that can play football. But also another quarterback that is kind of unproven for that matter. So he is one loser, but according to NFL.com, another loser is Deshaun Watson. So again, I think this is one of Deshaun Watson's last chances of maybe moving to another team. I think Chicago is really the only other team that has a chance of um, snagging Deshaun Watson. But yeah, that was his last chance. Fraz, what do you see happening? I asked Caden this earlier. What do you see happening to Deshaun Watson after 22 new allegations now?
Yeah. I was just didn't he lose that con or that he lost that deal with Nike? Did he
Yeah,
not?
he lost the deal with Nike and Beats.
Yeah, so this is probably what's going to happen. I think you'll see more and more people just lose, lose faith in him and, cut a deal, if that makes sense. I think, first it was Nike, and then who's the second one again?
Beats.
Beats. I'm going to go with next. probably he will be. I think he'll be released. I think it's just this could be a thing where, and I hate to say it, it really could come to a political thing. I mean, I know Houston is a little bit more, just like Houston fans really wouldn't care about this as much, but other organizations I'd see like New York and stuff like that can take allegations to this and make this more of a political thing, which I don't think it needs to be made. I think many former players in the NFL, some Hall of Famers, they didn't have the best um, you know background, and they're Hall of Famers right now.
Yeah.
So I personally think it wasn't a good thing that he did, but he's a great quarterback, great talent, and he's still good for the NFL.
Yeah, and here's my whole thing, Prez, is that I agree with you that there's a possibility that Deshaun Watson could even be released at some point. But if that's the case, it's going to be very long down the road from now. He still, like we mentioned, me and Caden mentioned earlier, he doesn't have as much market value as he did 2 months ago. But the matter of the fact is that he still has some market value. So maybe after the draft, if we don't see anything happen before the draft, his market value will really go down even more again. So I think Houston is just going to wait to see even if they can get anything out of it. Chicago offered Russell Wilson, or offered Seattle for Russell Wilson like 3 first-round picks, like Caden said, and an MVP caliber player. After this, I don't see teams giving up even more than 2 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson, for that matter. So again, I think Houston, if they do it early on, I think Houston is crazy for releasing Deshaun Watson. It's way too early. Now, if the allegations are said and some are proven guilty and some are, BS, I think it would be fair for Houston to just cut ties with Deshaun Watson because he's giving a bad image, for that matter. I wouldn't be surprised if the NFL even suspends him. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with him. I don't know, man.
I have a good video actually pulled up too in my tabs. It was of Sam Darnold, because I was just watching some of his film, and I wanted to share the screen if I may.
If you may, I mean, it's all. I don't know how to do it on your end, but you
Polar vortex.
Polar vortex. There it is. Wow.
So, Sam Darnold is not known, and we can all agree to this, right? He's not a mobile quarterback. But then again, he is. If that makes, like, he was set in stone as
he can move
as like a non-moving quarterback. But I mean, if you watch this right here, this is where he gets into the pocket, sets his feet there, makes a nice throw to Robbie Anderson for the touchdown. But like, think of the gap of that touchdown pass. But personally, I think he will be able to do that for Carolina. He has talent, like you saw right there. I mean, that's an above average NFL quarterback.
Oh no! I accidentally just. Oh jeez. Oh no! Oh no! FaceTime Matt Brett.
No.
I accidentally just. Oh no! Hold on, we're calling him back. I accidentally. Oh jeez! Hey, I accidentally kicked you from the stream.
Did you accidentally?
Yeah, I accidentally, because I meant to kick your. There you go. My fault. I apologize.
I got my point across. It's just
no, you definitely did. And I think that whole that one clip that you showed right there was a summary of his career in New York. And a lot of people go, oh, well, he turns over the ball too much. But you have to look at the biggest factor of it all. Sam Darnold had Robbie Anderson for 2 years, and that was it in New York. Literally had no help. You saw it. You guys saw it yourself. There was no protection there, and Sam Darnold still made it work somehow. So, yeah, I mean, Sam Darnold clearly the winner in this. Carolina, I don't think gave up too much for Sam Darnold. I think they gave up actually a little bit less than I think the Jets could have gotten out of Sam Darnold. But yeah, so that's my opinion on the whole Sam Darnold thing. And real quick, CBS released their official mock draft for the NFL. Caden, this actually isn't the one that you sent me. This is a different one. Which was that just like a hypothetical thing, Caden? I don't even know what that was.
They release like a new mock draft like every other day.
And they're all like they have like 50 of them. So, but this is CBS's official 7-round mock draft, which we're not going to go over all of them. I think we're going to go over a few first-round picks, and then I want to talk about the NHL to end it off. So at number 3, they actually have Justin Fields going 3. Fraz, I'll ask you first. Is that the best fit for the 49ers?
Oh, man. I mean, I have no idea, Billy. My opinion changes every day about this. But if I want to be honest here, I don't think there's a set stone like top 5 picks like there was every single year. Like, you know how you were able to tell, like, okay, Giants were taking Saquon Barkley. Like, we knew they were taking running back. They're taking Saquon Barkley. These top 3 picks, I mean, they're wide open. I mean, other than number 1, it's pretty wide open after that. We have no idea what teams want. Personally, for the 49ers, I do think Justin Fields could be a good pick for them. I think I said this on the stream before, but Trey Lance, I think he'd be the best fit for the 49ers. I think he is Jimmy Garoppolo type quarterback, but I think he'd be a perfect fit for the 49ers.
Yeah, now, Caden, before you go, I'm going to give my opinion real quick. I think Trey Lance would be a good fit only for the fact that Jimmy G is going to be there for another year, so this is a good Trey Lance is that project quarterback that everybody's talking about.
Say it, Billy. Say it, Billy.
Low floor, high ceiling. No, but yeah, I didn't say low ceiling, high floor this time. No, but everybody knows Trey Lance is that project quarterback, not starter ready, if you will. My opinion, I think Mac Jones should go number 3. It's the perfect embodiment of what Kyle Shanahan looks for in a quarterback. Obviously, there's questions about his athleticism and his rollout game. That sounded something similar to something else. No, but I think Mac Jones is probably the best fit in San Francisco. If you're looking for the closest replacement to what they got them to the Super Bowl the one year, I think that's the closest thing. But if you're looking to evolve your entire offense and modernize it, I think Justin Fields, for any offense in that matter, is the way to go. Caden, to what extent do you agree with me there?
I 100% agree. I think that Mac is their guy, and I think a year behind Jimmy Garoppolo, 1, will increase the trade value for Jimmy Garoppolo so they can get more out of him. And 2, Mac gets to learn exactly what Kyle Shanahan wants him to learn to be able to be the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers. And I think, Mac's used to waiting. He waited behind Tua. He waited behind Jalen Hurts. He waited behind a whole bunch of different quarterbacks for, 6 years, 5 years?
Yeah.
There's nothing new to him. And if he learns the system the right way,
I like that you say that too, because he took advantage of, he took advantage of his role in Alabama and, won a championship out of it. So, yeah, I think he can do that for the 49ers if so.
And
he's definitely not the starter in my eyes, though, coming into the season. They're keeping Jimmy G.
And Caden, like you mentioned, whatchamacallit, if he can pick up, he can have a year to pick up the offense. I'm going to be honest. I think Mac Jones, besides Trevor Lawrence in every category, is the most starter-ready quarterback in this entire draft. Mac Jones is the smartest quarterback in this draft, for one. And I think that's his best trait, is that he's very smart, very, very smart. I don't know about his whole grades and stuff like that in college, but on the field for football, he basically, when Bill O'Brien was the head coach for the Texans, I believe, or I forget, but they went over Alabama's entire offense, and he picked it up in I don't even know, he's very quick. Well, his brain just processes very fast, and I think that's his best trait, which also leads into decision making. We saw his arm. I like Mac Jones at 3. So let's see some other notable picks. Okay, so we'll go from 3 to 4. Atlanta, they have Atlanta keeping their pick, and I'll ask you guys in a second why maybe that might not be the best move for them, but they have Atlanta keeping their pick and taking Jamar Chase at 4. Hayden, we'll start with you. How do you feel about that?
No, absolutely not. Nope. You have Julio and you have Calvin Ridley. You have the number 4 pick and you have teams desperate for a quarterback. You trade that pick. If not, you take Penei Sewell. No questions asked.
Fraz, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, you said it perfectly. I don't think Jamar Chase is needed in Atlanta right now. Maybe down the road, Julio is getting up there as an older older wide receiver, but yeah, I don't think Jamar Chase is a good fit for Atlanta.
I think Jamar Chase is a top 5-6 player, but here's the thing: Atlanta has Hayden Hurst right now. Okay, and he's a pretty good player, but I don't think you let Kyle piss. I don't think you let Kyle Pitts slip past 5.
Kyle Piss.
Kyle Pitts.
Dude, hey Billy, though I did see Mac Jones, 4.0 student in Alabama.
Yeah, and I assumed so. But no, Kyle Pitts I think is in my opinion, after my evaluation, after all the pro days, after watching film, I think Kyle Pitts is the most consistent and best player in this. I'm not saying it again. He's the best player in this draft. I don't think you let him slip past 5.
I still feel like he'll be there at like 6 or 7 though, because I think the Bengals will take Panasol no matter what. And if there's a guy like Fields or Lance available and a quarterback, a team really wants a quarterback, why not trade down? And then if you really want Kyle Pitts, trade back up again. You have the draft capital to do so.
Yeah, so here's the thing. But are the Bengals locked on Penei Sewell at
It's either
5?
I think there's
it's either Sewell or Jamar Chase, and I think the Dolphins are going to crap their pants because I think they traded back up to 6 thinking that, we're going to get Jamar Chase. We really like Jamar Chase. They're going to crap their pants because I think the Bengals are going to take Jamar Chase at 5. Listen, you have Joe Burrow at quarterback. The line, as bad as it may seem, is actually not that bad. And again, they have an early enough pick in the second round where there might still be some guys like Liam Eichenberg, Leatherwood, some guys from some very big schools left in the early second round. I think that they take a skill guy here. I think they go with Jamar Chase. Obviously, there was a connection between Burrow and Chase. That whole crew, LSU receivers with Jefferson, Chase, and also Terrence Marshall, who is expected to go later in the first round as well. So I think the Bengals definitely go. I think they go Jamar Chase at 5. But going back to Atlanta, I think you either go Kyle Pitts or trade out your pick. I think Kyle Pitts holds his value early on in the draft. Other than that, I don't see them taking a lineman. I think Matt Ryan still has a few years left. I don't think they're ready for a quarterback yet. I'm not saying they don't need a quarterback, but I'm gonna say Kyle Pitts is probably the better option. Moving on, so what are some other notable picks here? Okay, this actually seems kind of old now that I'm reading this because they have Carolina taking a quarterback at 8. When was this made? Oh, this was April 1st. Yeah, so this is a little bit older. But just some picks that still would make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so they actually have a mock trade. So this isn't even a big jump. This is a trade between Arizona and the Chargers. They have Arizona trading up to 13, swapping with them at 16. They have them taking J.C. Horn at 13. And, the Cardinals were really high on J.C. Horn. They've said it before. The general manager even said that they really need some help on defense. So expect them to try to go after a DB in the draft. I don't know if trading up 3 spots and probably giving up a later pick is worth it, but because the Chargers also need some help too. But the thing is that the Chargers, they got lucky with this draft. The Chargers need a lineman to help out Justin Herbert, and thank God there's a million tackles left in the draft. I don't think this is a bad move by the Chargers. That wouldn't be a terrible move from the Chargers, but I don't think it's worth it on Arizona's end. Caden, what do you think about that?
I mean, with the loss of Patrick P, you kind of need some help on the secondary. So it makes sense if you're really that scared of 2 teams in front of you taking him. I mean, go ahead. I think it's not going to really take much. I don't think Chargers are going to really ask for much. Maybe like a 3rd. If they have draft capital to do it, I mean, you want your guy, go get him.
Yeah, and that would make so much sense. Like if I'm the Chargers, even if they said, hey, the most we'll give you is a 4th for this year, I would even say, yeah, I'll take it.
It's only 3 spots.
Because again, the Chargers' biggest need and what they have to address is linemen. And I honestly, let's see what they think. So they have Slater falling all the way to 12, which I don't know. That could happen.
For what? Wait, for linemen?
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Slater, and that would be the only other him. Sewell and Slater would be the only two. So really, for the Chargers, what CBS thinks is that they won't
Yeah,
lose
I'm looking at
basically
it
any.
right now.
They won't really lose any room, and they'll still be able to take Darisaw. They could have taken him at 13, but they just said, "F it." You know what? We'll go back to 16. So I think that this is a good move. That would be a great move from the Chargers. But
Wait, how about the Pittsburgh guy though? Where do you think he's gonna? Hargrove. Where's he gonna land?
Hard.
It says he's right below Eichenberg. Is that Eichenberg?
Eichenberg.
Yeah. He's ranked 114th in the draft, but he's I believe he's like 15th. I'm looking at 16th on the line.
My guess is a day 2 or 3 pick.
Yeah, it would have to be.
2 early 3.
Yeah.
But just skipping down to the Steelers pick, they actually have them taking Carlos Basham Jr. Now, let me tell you something about this guy. I've watched film on him, and holy crap, he is big. That's a perfect replacement for Bud Dupree. He's an edge rusher. He's 6'6", 285 pounds. Like, holy crap. For an edge rusher, I feel like that's a bit too big. But if it's all muscle, I'm not complaining. But I'll start. I don't know if that's the best pick for the Steelers. There are many other needs right now.
Yeah,
I was talking in the car with Aiden yesterday, who doesn't come on the show because he feels he gets too embarrassed now. We make fun of him too much. Whatever. But I told him that I think the Steelers, believe it or not, I think their number one need right now is actually the corner. I think that the Steelers really need a corner right now, especially after we lost Steve Nelson. We don't know what's happened. Well, again, it's still too early. We don't know what's going to happen with Joe Hayden. So I think the Steelers' number one need is DB, but I don't think we need to go first round DB. This is also pretty deep this is another position that's pretty deep in the draft. I was looking at Asante Samuel Jr., but I believe they have a team actually reaching for him. I saw him early second round. Where did I see him? Yeah, they have the Eagles reaching early for him. So maybe he won't be there. But really, I see the Steelers, if Najee Harris is there, that wouldn't be a bad pick. In my mock draft, I've said it before, I don't think Justin Fields is going to go as early as people think. I have him dropping all the way to 24. Listen, there's still some more free agency moves, more trades to be made at quarterback. I see some of these teams working out quarterback deals. If Denver really wants a quarterback, which I don't, I think that they stick with Drew Lock for a few more years. I don't think Drew Lock is even that bad. They need to give him help. I think that some of these quarterbacks could seriously fall. So, but no, they have them taking an edge rusher. He's not even the best edge rusher available. They have CBS rates him as the 46th best prospect at the fourth at the edge rusher. So, I don't know. I don't really like that.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. But here's a pick. Pick 25, right after the Steelers. They have the Jacksonville Jaguars taking 5'9", 180-pound Ronald Moore from Purdue at receiver. Now, listen, I obviously AB proved that you can still be small and do damage in the NFL, but I don't know about 5'9" right now in the NFL. The guy's tangibles are crazy. He jumped over 40 inches. He ran a 4.29 40. He's perfect special teams guy, but I don't think he should go in the first round. Fraz, what do you think about Ronald Moore?
Yeah, I'm not too sure about him. He can end up like a guy like John Ross, not really talked about much in the NFL anymore, but like if he goes on a team, like you're like, "Oh, we have John Ross now. We have the dude who's really, really fast." And I think John Ross is going to be more of a special teams guy. So yeah, I think that's where Moore is going to end up on a team, is more of like a kick returner, punt returner type guy.
No, so wait, Fraz, didn't the Giants get John Ross, by the way?
Yeah.
No, I think, just speaking on the topic of John Ross, I think John Ross's career is finally going to be revitalized.
I hope so.
I am really rooting for John Ross because I think this whole narrative that he's fast is taking away a lot from John Ross. The dude was he's not only is he fast, he accelerates very fast, which is the thing. He was a great route runner, and obviously he can do damage on special teams. So I think that not only is New York going to use him as a special teams guy, but he could seriously run some deeper routes for New York and help out Daniel Jones in an offense that's just kind of in the hole right now. But
it's really to me. I've been with the Giants for so long. It really is the O-line still. They just haven't been able to make that, guys that they're getting. Thomas last year that they got, O-lineman, did okay, but not up to, what we thought he was going to be. I mean, he was the number one tackle in the draft last year, and he didn't do his part. So the Giants really just need to, make that O-line. And I think they're 2 O-linemen away from being a very good team, a very, very good team.
Yeah, and Fraz, I actually filled out a 3-round mock draft. Holy crap, my beanie got really big. Shout out Hubs. I think this is 20. I said 2012. I don't think it's
shout out Hubs. Shout
out Hubs, beanie boy. But no, I think the Giants are 1 or 2 linemen away from being a complete offense. You already have Saquon Barkley. Daniel Jones again is another quarterback where he has some inconsistencies, but still needs that help. But no, I still have the Giants, which will actually go to what CBS thinks they're going to take. I have the Giants. We agree on something here. At pick 11, no. What? They have Kyle Pitts falling to 11, which as a Giants.
If that happens, that'll open up a lot.
Boy.
But then again, they have Evan Ingram. I don't think they're going to get him. I really don't think
Kyle Pitts. He's not going to slip that far.
Listen,
and he's not going to go that far.
If any team, I would say past. Let's be reasonable here. I think any team past the Bengals, pick 5. If he falls past 5, I think if you're the Dolphins at 6. You don't pass up on him. I know you have Mike Gesicki. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. You have to take Kyle Pitts.
Oh, they throw to tight ends all the time too. Might as well put Pitts there.
And the whole narrative for Miami was, let's help Tua. Let's help Tua. Let's help Tua. And that's what they're going to do. Not only do they have that 6th pick, but they have a pick later on in the draft as well, where I think that they're probably – there's a few teams where I know a lot of people love Najee Harris in the draft, and so do I. But there's a few teams that I'm worried that probably will end up taking both running backs will go before the Steelers pick. At first, I didn't think so. I do kind of now. Arizona, despite saying that they're high on Chase Edmonds, all this, all that, they still need a number 2 or, quite frankly, a number 1. I think they go ETN. And Miami's that other team. I know they have Myles Gaskin, but that's another team. Again, if you really want to help Tua, it's too early to take one of those receivers at 18, one of those like 4-star or 3.5 4-star tier receivers. 18's a little bit too early. You could wait till your early pick in the 2nd round as well. So no, I think they both running backs probably go before the Steelers pick. Caden, you're giving me that look. You don't agree with that?
I feel that both Najee and ETN will be there when the Steelers pick. I just feel like other teams have much more of an important need, like the Cardinals with J.C. Horn and the Dolphins probably with a lineman, and I think they're going to take a receiver / tight end at 6. I just think that both of them are just going to slip. ETN's going to be a day 2 pick, and Najee's going to follow the Steelers at 24 or 20, whatever pick they have, 22.
Now that you say that, I did forget that the Cardinals now are basically like Swiss cheese on the DB back there. Without Pat Pete, you are missing some people, so... Yeah, maybe that's. I might have to update the mock draft, which is the link in the bio. I'm on my Instagram. It's like mock draft 8.0. This is post Darnold trade. So yeah, I think that maybe I wouldn't be. There are most of the players where the Steelers have projected falling to them. I'm not mad at any of them. There's a few linemen that I hope the Steelers don't take. I hope they don't take the edge rusher from Wake Forest. I don't think that's the greatest move in the world. I wouldn't be mad at a corner if they fall to him, I hope they don't reach for Asante Samuel. I don't think he's a first-round talent. But no, Najee Harris. I'm not high on ETN in the Steelers offense. ETN has proven to be a one-cut pass catcher type of guy, so I don't know if I really like ETN on the Steelers, but I am sold on Najee Harris. So, yeah, any other picks that really stand out to me
I'll
here?
make my 2 cents here on Justin Fields. I remember hearing this about when Mark Sanchez was on Pat McAfee show,
Mhm.
that they're saying he has character issues.
He
And
does.
he does have like
Very
this
bad.
lack of, effort. I feel that, he'll go to a decent team. If he is going to fall, I think he's going to be a good quarterback. But what if behind the scenes Bill Belichick's playing the cards to take him with their first round pick?
But that's
And
another.
I'm not sold on him.
I'm not
as much as
completely
some of
sold
these
on him, but
other quarterbacks. Justin Fields. I
Now
really
here's
think
the thing.
there are a lot better quarterbacks in this draft.
I'm sold on Justin Fields' talent, but even I personally have seen Justin Fields' character issues. He's said before. I'm pretty sure after the big win at the end of the season, he didn't talk to anybody in the locker room. He's many people that were insiders for Ohio State, and this was from the Mark Sanchez interview with Pat McAfee show. They said that he has that first or last guy in, first guy out type of attitude. Hopefully that'll change in the NFL. And also, you can see in the pro day, after making beautiful throws after throws, his teammates are trying to dap him up, give him high fives, stuff like that. He's oblivious to it. He completely ignores it. Basically, is bold-faced towards his teammates. You didn't see that from the Devontae Smith. Leg cramp. Jalen or Najee Harris as well. So yeah, clear character issues from Justin Fields. But I think going into the NFL, I don't really think that's much of an issue unless you're really like like a troublemaker, like you did drugs in college, stuff like that. I don't really see that being a huge issue.
But
going
you know who I can relate Justin Fields to, and again, I don't think it's a huge issue on character right now because I think he will clean it up. Is Baker Mayfield? Baker was really bad in college. I mean,
No,
he did.
What's
he
the
did
one
things
thing?
that were he did things that were just not like very unsportsmanlike. And then I mean, he obviously wanted to win, but just the character. Yeah, I mean, character is. I mean, in college is just like it's just a little setback. I think once Baker got to the NFL, knew he was with the hanging with the big dogs. He humbled up a little bit more.
And every year there's a few players in the draft that the analysts go, oh well, he might have character issues, and another one is Micah Parsons. Again,
oh my gosh,
I will say this time and time again, character issues aren't big for me, but I think Micah Parsons still is one of the most overrated players in the draft. One-dimensional player. I don't think he's a top 10 pick. I'm not saying he's trash because he'll be the best run stopper in this entire class. Don't get me wrong. I wish he'd fall all the way to Pittsburgh. I would love him on Blitzburg. But I don't know. I don't think character issues are a big deal. But if you are a jerk and you stay that way and you're all about you, and that just doesn't work in the NFL. And no, so real quick, real fast, really fast. I want to see where they have the Steelers taking in the second round because that's a big thing for me as well. I want to see. Okay, they have the Steelers taking. They have the Steelers taking Jackson Carman. He's an O lineman. Where is he from? He's from Clemson. I believe that's their guard. Yeah, that's their guard. So they have. He's reportedly the 7th best interior lineman in the draft, and they have him taking him at pick 55 in the second round. So, I mean, where do they have? I just want to keep looking. Whoa, okay. So here's where we have a problem. They have Liam Eichenberg, and if the Jets really get him here, that'd be great. At the beginning of the third round, they have Liam Eichenberg going.
He's not dropping that.
Yeah, there's no way. I have him maybe even going in the first round. Pick 66 in the third round, Liam Eichenberg. And now listen, after this, I'll wrap this up because we are a little bit over time here. But no, Notre Dame linemen. It's the best lineman class every year. I went to a lineman camp, and again, I think I've said this on the last show. The Joe Moore line camp. Again, I yelled, "Where's Joe Moore?" and found out he was later dead. But no, they give that award out in college football every year, and I would say in the last 10 years, I think Notre Dame won it 8 times. So no, the consistency with Notre Dame linemen is second to none. So I don't think you pass up on that. But I think we'll leave it there. The draft coming up on April 29th, we'll definitely be having a watch party. But
Definitely, I'll be on that.
But no, Cade and Fraz, thank you guys for coming. Fraz, especially you. You did not have to come out after baseball, but I greatly appreciate it. Guys, great show today, and thank you. Also, update. I did not get tickets to the draft like I said I would. They came out at 4:30 last week. One day, I cannot remember. I believe it was a weekend, and they ran out of them in about a minute 30. So there was no way I was getting tickets to Cleveland. There's still the chance to go like minutes before hours before the draft, but there's no point. So we will be having a watch party live on April 29th. I am very excited because, as you guys know, I've been covering this draft for months now, like 2 or 3 months to be exact. So, but no, thank you guys for coming out today. BDIVATB@gmail.com if you want to help the show. And remember, subscribe, and share. We're trying to grow here. But no, I appreciate all the support. And we'll see you guys later.